Hello and welcome to State of Euphorbia. This is Angelo with my blog, and I have my special guest and friend Sophie. Sophie, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining me. Sophie is in Portland from El Cerrito, California, in the East Bay area. So, Sophie, how are you today? And tell us a little bit about yourself.
I'm doing well. Woke up. The sun is out. It's so hot outside. Having a blast visiting you. Good to get away from the Bay for a while. Good to get away from life. With babies, Monday through Friday. Preschool teaching. So it's nice to be with adults on the weekend.
And me.
And this dude. Whatever you are.
That's right.
Child.
So today's supposed to be the hottest day in Portland for a while. It's supposed to hit 90. It's already like 80 degrees, and we're just past noon right now. Actually, we're just past 1. I guess I lost track of time.
Actually, it's almost 2.
Anywho, it's one of those days. So feeling pretty good. A quick update on my health with the brain tumor thing. Been raising funds for the National Brain Tumor Society, and I'm pleased to say that we made some pretty good progress towards my $5,000 goal for Team Republic and myself. I'm at 87% right now, so about $640 short of the goal. We still have about 50 some odd days, so thank you. Donate. Look for Angelo, Ieso. I'm at the top ski of the individual and team, I believe. But if you don't want to give to me, go to braintumorcommunity.org and give. And we're doing a walk August 1st. Little plug there. We're starting early on at Portland Pioneer Courthouse Square. All right, that being set aside, let's talk about some real issues. We were lazy Sunday, woke up in the late afternoon, called up Soph to see what she doing. So we might go check out a movie today. We might go grab some chow. Mad Max, maybe.
Some chowder?
Some chowder. I don't know what we're going to do. So let's get some insight here. State of Euphorbia, we try to strive towards happiness and, keys to life. And as a person that's been battling with a terminal condition and some depression, and as I know a lot of our listeners and viewers might also be in the same boat, tell us a little bit about your experiences and what kind of keys to the game, as they say in sports, can you offer? What do you recommend people do, and what have you learned to make people feel better about themselves, and what can we do in life to feel good?
So I, 5-ish years ago, was definitely in a spot where it was hard to wake up in the morning, and I was still at school, and I didn't want to do anything, and I stopped going out, and I just laid in bed all day, and just was super, super down all the time. Not down like I'm down, but down like I'm down. I came home from school, and I was a wreck. I didn't get any sleep. And that's when the concept of self-care and self-love kind of started. I started cultivating that. Lots of support. And it's something that I still struggle with to this day, but I think, it took me 5 years, but coming to a place where you want to take care of yourself and love yourself. There's some days that are easier than others. Definitely. There's some days where, crying is necessary. You just have to, it's like a cathartic release, or it's not. It's just terrible.
It depends, I think. I think sometimes if you're feeling down, you can rechannel your energy to think about something more positive. Like that's something I've talked about in the past. Or you can put your headphones on and listen to sad songs all day and drown yourself in the moment of depression, and that's not good. I think it's okay to let the feelings. I think you'd
Yeah.
agree, kind of run through you, over you, in you, and just kind of feel what you feel. But it's also not good to turn them up and kind of feel sorry for yourself at the same time. So it's a balance.
I think that, yeah, it's a fine balance. As someone who works with kids who are learning how to name their feelings, um, and how to deal with big emotions that happen, um, I truly believe, even from like babies through adulthood, that you need to honor your feelings. You can acknowledge them, and no one can help the way that they feel. That's not something you can really control. And like Angelo said, I think there's days where you listen to sad music and you kind of do things that aren't necessarily geared toward pulling you out of a rough place. But I also feel like there's validity in that. I think that there are days where, especially days where you feel like it's too hard to get out of bed or go get groceries. I think every person is entitled and totally allowed to sort of emphasize those feelings and sort of really, really get into them. And I think where it turns into a problem is when the day after that looks the same, and then the day after that, and the day after that, and it's sort of like a vicious cycle. I think for me, when I have days like that, I do let myself sort of feel everything, and I try not to be so hard on myself. When I do feel super sad or super angry, but then I've come to a place where if I let myself do that and I give myself the time and space to do that, I also make sure that I set aside some time, even if it's just a few minutes, to come up with even just one or two things to do the following day that are different from what I did today on the day that I'm sad or upset. They don't have to be huge, monumental things. They don't have to be like, you know, like running a marathon. They don't have to be, reading a book cover to cover. It's not like that. I think it's more like, I decide that I'm going to wake up at a certain time, or, I choose one recipe that I choose one meal that I sort of plan. I choose a recipe and kind of decide I'm going to go grocery shopping for the ingredients for that recipe. I decide I'm going to call two of my friends who I haven't talked to in a while, or, just things like that.
Baby steps,
Little things, just anything that looks different from the day that you are letting yourself sort of
breaking out of the monotony, the ruts, that keep you down in a state of. That's what depression is. I think it's you kind of gotten in a lower like rut, a groove. You've kind of carved these neural pathways that allow yourself these feelings of self-deprecation, self-pity, and it's okay to feel these things like we've said, but also you have to understand from a base level, I think, do I really want to be happy? Because I think there's a lot of people out there that truly are masochistic on a certain level, and maybe this is behaviors that are learned from an early age or at some point where they've gone through some experiences in relationships that have hurt them, where all they know is the comfort of depression, or the wrap themselves up in poor me. And I have made myself the victim. I'm not going to say I haven't, where you go on social media, you post everything that's wrong in your life, and you just post something like, life's hard, oh, boo-hoo, this and that. But if you really, I think, if you really put things into perspective, and if you really, truly want to be happy, because I don't think anybody truly wants to feel like shit. No one really wants to feel down in the dumps, because that's, to live is to suffer. A lot of people have said that. Um, one of my greatest mentors in college, one of my teachers, she said that. But by the same token, to try to squeeze the most out of life and to be as happy as possible, I think that you really have to put in the effort. And with nothing great comes without effort. No great reward just comes to you, is handed to you, says, here's happiness, here is reward. You have to strive every day, and every day has to find a new purpose. And some day that's difficult because we wake up just feeling crappy.
Yeah, and I think it's really exciting to talk about kind of huge things that you can do to sort of make sure that the next day doesn't look the same. And I think that can also be daunting to feel like you want to take on a lot, and considering you didn't do shit one day, I mean, how do you go about your next day? And I think, like I said earlier, just one thing different from that day. Going to the grocery store, taking the dog for a walk, calling up a friend who you haven't talked to in a while. I think that's what it starts with.
Don't have to read a full novel. Don't have to run a marathon.
No, you just have to open the front door and
get out there.
Get out there.
Go take one step, and then another, and then another, and another.
Yeah, go fucking smell some roses.
That's right. Sophie, love you. Thanks for
you
joining us today, and thank you all for tuning in. Peace.